I've had messages saying that I've groomed Lily into thinking she's normal.
Jesus Christ.
What a terrible thing to do to somebody, to give them some confidence to be who they are. I've seen what happens when people live their life feeling odd and different. And I just saw these kind of attitudes in the house that were turning a bit on Lily. And I just thought, not on my watch. I lost my brother to suicide. He was on the autistic spectrum, and I spent my whole life trying to look after him.
Do you think it triggered you?
Yeah.
We've had such a great response to the podcast, and so many of you have been in touch asking what you can do to help. It's really simple. Just follow, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. That way we can reach more people, and that way we can celebrate these great minds that think differently. Today, we're joined by two unforgettable voices from Big Brother UK 2024. Show winner and forensic psychologist Ali Bromley and her fellow housemate Lily Benson. Both women are ADHD, but their experiences after the show couldn't have been more different. They've sparked a powerful conversation about how we perceive neurodivergence, especially when it shows up differently. In this episode, we unpack how to navigate judgment, misunderstanding, and what it means to be truly seen. Let's get into it. Let's see how great minds think differently. I'll start with you, Ali. 3 words to describe your brain.
Loud, scatty, fast.
Lily?
Crazy, excited, and rapid.
And how's your brain today? How's it been?
It's been a bit crazy in that, but I've listened to some music that calms it down.
And how's your brain been today, Ali?
So I've recently started Elvance.
Okay.
So my brain is quieter than it used to be, which is good.
How are you finding it?
First day on, I did what everyone does and think that it's going to change my life.
Okay.
I was like, oh my God, I was like super productive for about 3 hours and then crashed out.
Okay.
Then for the next few days, my brain was glitching and I couldn't find thoughts. But my brain went quiet and I didn't have a million different background thoughts running. So that was like a bit of a relief. But now it's sort of leveled out and it's stopping me do the thing where you're super energetic, crash, super energetic, crash. It's keeping me a bit more in the middle. It's early days, need to tweak a little bit with the dose maybe, but we'll see. Fighting for my life with the Elvance dry mouth though.
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Are you on Elvance as well?
Yeah, I've tried it. The first time I tried it, I was like, I got very emotional. I started crying because I was like, oh my God, what's happening? Because it just felt like my brain just went silent, like blank. Like I got really emotional when I first took my first ever time. It was like, oh my God. Like it was like kind of life changing.
Really?
Yeah. My mind just felt like clear. Like it felt like a blank piece of paper. My mind,
That's the
really
first thing
nice.
I noticed as well. There's just sudden quiet. And I was like, is this how your brain's supposed to be?
Yeah, like my
I've never
eyesight.
tried it. So I'm so interested in hearing people's experiences of it.
Yeah. I don't take it regularly.
Okay.
Because sometimes
Because you have ADHD and you can't remember.
Sometimes, well, that and I sometimes I just like not take it and just be me. Sometimes I feel like I get a bit like quiet with it because I more think before I speak. But sometimes I like a break off it. Do you know what I mean?
I'm interested that you don't feel like you when you're on it.
Yeah, no, I do get like that.
Yeah.
I don't feel like me. I go a bit more like a bit zombie. Like
Okay.
I feel like yeah, I'm much more focused
Okay.
when I have it. But like I feel like I'm in a trance sometimes. I feel like I lose my personality a bit.
Oh.
Yeah.
Are you feeling any of that?
I actually felt kind of the opposite. So I went out for lunch with my friend a couple of days in and I was sat across the table in a restaurant, which was really noisy. And normally in a restaurant, I find that really difficult if the acoustics are off and you can't focus on conversation. I was like, I'm really engaged in this conversation. I can follow what you're saying and I'm not having to tell myself to actively listen. I was just actively listening. Whereas quite often, normally I'd have to be like, right, make eye contact, look at this person, make sure you're responding to what they're saying. And I'd have to be telling myself to focus on what they're saying.
Yep.
But I didn't have that. I was like, I'm just engaged in conversation.
You didn't catch yourself. I know I can catch myself when I'm like, I'm not listening.
Oh, yeah.
listen.
100%.
Yeah. That didn't happen. I think the main thing for me that's difficult is like burning out and crashing out. So being really productive and then crashing out, absolutely nothing. And I still haven't, because I have a diagnosis of ADHD, I don't have a formal diagnosis of autism. I still haven't quite worked out, is it an ADHD burnout or am I having like a bit of autistic overwhelm? I don't know, because I haven't got all that clarified, but I think I have autistic traits. So it could be either or, but the medication stopped me like completely crashing out and burning out.
Okay, that's interesting. When do you take your medication now, Lily?
If I need to concentrate for something,
Okay.
then I'll take it. Back when I was at uni, when I needed to write an assignment, because education is something I really struggled with, then I would take it and focus, because that's something that I really struggle with the focusing and daydreaming.
Are you a daydreamer?
Oh, ever since I was little.
Okay.
Yeah. Primary school, like on all my letters, they called me Dreamy Lily, because I just used to be like, Lily, listen, in like school.
And you were diagnosed quite young, weren't you?
Yeah, like in high school.
Okay.
But it was in GCSEs when I got it, because I was really struggling at school, especially when it came to exams.
Okay.
I really struggled because I used to get frustrated and I could never take any information in. But I kind of liked it at the start because it was like an escape. But then when it got to GCSEs, I was like, no, because I want to listen. But I used to get so frustrated.
And how did the school help you?
My mum wanted me to get tested for ADHD and I was like, no, like I don't want to put a label on it, because I was very like hyperactive and I was like completely against it. Like I was like, why are you putting a label on it? This is just me. And like with boys and that, they used to be like, oh, you're riddled with ADHD. So I used to get so frustrated with it. So when my mum was like, I think we should get you tested because sleeping pattern up the wall.
Okay.
Like at 2:00 in the morning, like wide awake.
And
so
you're what,
hyperactive.
15?
Like 15. But then I finally was like, because I got so frustrated when it came to GCSEs, because I've struggled all throughout education, but I was like, I'm really getting upset over it, because why can they learn stuff and take stuff in? Like the teacher would ask me a question, I didn't listen to anything what he would say.
Yeah.
And then I used to daydream, and like some of the teachers like, why are you not listening all the time? You just felt so embarrassed. So my mum was like, well, I've searched it up and these are signs of ADHD as well. So maybe we can just get you tested to help with education. So then I was like, okay, I agreed to it. So I went through CAMS. I had my first session where we just chatted and I was like, I want help with school. My second session, they were like, so we spoke to your school and they said they're not going to support you. We can't help support you. So I was like, well, what's the point of me getting tested then? Then I was like fully against it.
Oh, wow.
I know.
That's then not a great experience.
No, not really a great experience.
Yeah, you've like folded your legs and your arms as well.
Okay.
Yeah, because the worst thing, like my daughter was diagnosed autistic just for Christmas. And we know from research that 85% of children who are diagnosed dyslexic are really ashamed of it.
Yeah.
And we've historically put this massive mountain in front of people and gone, oh, it's a problem, it's a label, it's going to mean bad things for you.
Yeah.
And so if you have that bad experience, even of getting an assessment or the school not supporting you.
Well, this is what they mean. Well, I was like, well, what's the point of this then? Because that's the only reason why I wanted to get tested, for help with school. Because I said I would never take any tablets or anything, because I like me. But I do think like with school, I did need help a lot. Maths I was really good at, but English, I couldn't even like begin to write a sentence because so much stuff was in my head. Like I didn't even know where to start.
How did you get that diagnosis?
So they tested me for autism and ADHD.
Okay.
But then they just went along with the test for ADHD. Because as well in school, everyone would be like, oh, like they would make fun of having autism. So when I found out they were testing me for that as well, I was like, why are you asking me these questions? I was quite against it. But I got my test quite quick, which I know is like quite rare with CAMS. Like they did it quite quick. So yeah, I don't know if they were like, yeah, let's get tested quick.
And Ali, why were you so keen to get Lily in the green chair?
I think Lily shares something really important around the stigma that she's experienced and her kind of vehement opposition to diagnosis. And obviously that carried her through to Big Brother, where people were asking her quite early on, do you have ADHD? And her reaction was, no. don't have
That's
ADHD.
what I mean. I just shut it down from like a young age. Like as soon as I meet people, they'd be like, "Do you have ADHD?" And I used to get so frustrated because I got it all the time. It would really frustrate me because I was
Sure.
like, "What? Why are you putting a name?" So when I went into Big Brother, like the first thing I got asked off like a woman was like, "Got ADHD?" Like that was one of the first things. I was like, "No, like, why are you asking me? Like, I think I'm on the spectrum." Like, and then I just kind of like brushed it under the rug, really. Because it frustrates me so much. Can people ask it first?
Yeah, we've had quite a few guests on here, but I've not heard anyone say that literally when in first encounters and first meeting people, that people are that, I don't know, that brash.
You get it a lot, don't you? I think that's one of the things we've been talking about as well. Mixed feelings about Big Brother. You know, not everybody watches it, but I think some good has come out of it, which is that through that experience, Lily has come out the other side and gone, actually, I'm all right.
I know, because hearing
Kinda
out,
okay.
like she straight away went on the show and was like, "Yeah, like I've got this and that." I was like, "That's sick, that," because I've never seen someone like be so open and honest. Because I've never really heard much about it. Like even when I got tested, like in school, never heard a thing about it. So seeing Ali, I was like, "Oh my God, that is like dead inspiring. Like that's sick."
Did you talk about it in the house?
I spoke about my ADHD
Yep.
and I referenced autistic traits because going in there, I suddenly felt really aware that I wasn't maybe the same as other people. And I've worked a difficult job. I've made my way through education. I've got by and I'm quite used to social situations and being all right.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason in there, I couldn't manage it. I felt really overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And I wanted to give an explanation in case people were thinking I was weird. And I thought it might engender some empathy or help them to understand that I'm not being rude. I'm just struggling to
Yes.
adjust. So that's why I spoke about it initially. I clocked Lily. I thought, I sort of watched her. I didn't mention ADHD to Lily overtly in the house because I heard her saying she didn't have it. And I thought, okay, she doesn't want to talk about it.
Yes.
I'm in a difficult position there because I'm a psychologist. I can't just be putting labels out there.
Sure.
Like, you know, having not done an assessment myself or anything else, it wouldn't be the right thing for me to label it. But I could see what Lily was experiencing. It was very, very clear to me. And actually, even the people that come up to you and are being rude about it, I'm like, well, clearly then you actually don't need qualifications to be able to observe neurodivergence in people sometimes. Yep. I didn't want to label it explicitly, but what I tried to do, because Lily was getting a lot of criticism throughout her time in the house for being messy and loud and disorganized and impulsive and making impulsive decisions. So what I kept saying to people was, maybe we can just be a bit understanding of difference. And I was trying to really like emphasize
and were you
the
aware
difference.
of that, Lily?
Oh yeah, it should be like, Lily's just a little puppy. She just
You're like a kitten. I was like, let her have her bursts of energy and then it goes. Like, don't get stressed in those moments. She'll have energy and she'll go quiet again. It's okay. And your mess wasn't really affecting anyone else. It was in a corner of the bedroom out the way. There was one point in the show where people started commenting on Lily's mum and how she'd been raised and being quite critical about that. And
yeah, we got that a lot.
And almost trying to give you like elocution lessons at some point.
Oh yeah, like people sat me down and was like, this is how you should be, blah, blah, blah.
Is that an age thing? Is that people thinking, oh, she's younger?
It was people of all ages. There was people close to your age doing that as well and trying to give you this course on how to be. And I was watching it kind of cringing, thinking, first of all, you're talking about somebody's parenting when you don't know their background. We're stepping into dangerous territory.
This what shit me up, because then I was like, oh my God, is my mum going to be dead disappointed with me? How I've been and that's why I was getting stressed out. And because people are like, well, do you think your mum would be happy with this? And I was like, what? And then I started getting paranoid.
That's not how behaviour change works. You know, nobody ever overcomes anything by somebody saying to them, don't do that. Yeah. If it was that simple, therapists wouldn't exist.
And especially ADHD.
Yeah, because you could literally just tell people, don't do that, and that would be the end of it. You know, we would have no problems in society because behaviour change could be activated by somebody telling you not to do it.
Yeah.
So I was kind of watching all these things unfold, feeling quite frustrated and thinking, like, one, that's not going to work. Two, it's very stigmatizing. So all I could do really without kind of overstepping my position was to say, let's be understanding of difference.
Why do you think you guys got on so well and hit it off.
Well, this thing, I just think Ali was so understanding of me. Like, everyone just, I felt like, to me, like, everyone just complaining at me.
We didn't enter the house at the same time. We were separated off at the beginning into different rooms. I went into the main house. Lily went into the storeroom.
Yeah.
And we were watching them on a screen and she seemed quite hyper. And I thought, oh God.
When I walked in, I was like, oh my God. I didn't because my mum said to me before, she was like, mentally prepare. I think we need some like little calming techniques. I was like, Mum, I just need to make sure I look good. And she was like, some coping mechanisms. And I was like, Mum, I don't need any. Like, why are you telling me this? I was like, I have no time. I've got 3 weeks to prepare, even though I left it last minute anyway. But then while I was in the house, I was like, I should have listened to my mum. And that's why I came out. I was like, Mum, I am so sorry for giving you such a hard time. Like, honestly, sorry for shutting you down.
Right.
I know, you were so right. I wish I listened to you. Because I would have these highs and lows, and get super excited. Then I didn't know how to calm down.
Yeah. And I saw Lily come in like a whirlwind and I was a bit like, whoop, like a bit, not scared is the wrong word, but I was a bit apprehensive. And then we sat down outside and I spoke to her for, 5-10 minutes. And straight away, like just her sort of genuine nature shone through for me and just so happy and joyful and appreciative of life and experience. And it's not very often you meet people like that, just someone so pure and so happy and I just thought, straight away warmed to her because of her authenticity. And then I looked around and obviously something I've been criticised for coming out the house. And I was watching people's facial expressions and their body language and how they were responding to Lily. And I just looked one of them in the eyes and I was like, no, we're protecting Lily at all costs in this house.
If you were going back in the house again, would you choose to disclose your ADHD?
I think so, yeah. Coming out, I think seeing like people coming up to me like, oh, I have ADHD and I've seen some of the stuff you did and I do that as well. And it was really nice to be like seen on a TV. And I was like, do you know what? Yeah. Like, it's so nice. Like, I get so many messages and people coming up to me. I'm like, do you know what? I wish I was just more open and honest about it. Do you know what I mean? And that's why I'm very grateful to have met Ali as well, because I feel like she's helped me be like, it's okay to have it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think for me, apart from just warming to Lily, I've been criticised quite a lot for enabling Lily's behaviour. My take on that was, one, what a horribly patronising thing to say anyway. Mm-hmm. Put that aside. I'm a bit older than Lily. I've lived through, eras of reality TV where people haven't come through and survived it.
Sure.
Trolling or negative reception. And I just thought, she's 20 years old. It's a really formative time in her life. And I'd much rather give her the support that she needs to get through this and think she's all right than have her come through this experience thinking that she's not okay as she is. Because so what? She's a bit messy and she's a bit loud. Like, so what? Like,
yeah,
you're a good person and you're kind and you're genuine and those are the things that matter.
Yes, 100%.
And I really wanted her to leave that house with her self-esteem intact.
It's incredible, isn't it, that people take the fact that you are not criticising Lily for being herself and being messy or disorganised or whatever it is, that they take that as that's you enabling her.
Yeah. Oh, and also...
instead of going, oh yeah, you are allowing Lily to be Lily.
We get loads of positive support, absolutely loads. Like, my inbox is always full of messages of people saying, I don't see that many queer, neurodivergent lesbians in the media. Thank you for representing us. I've been able to come out. I've been able to accept who I am. So much positive support. But we get the other side as well, which is so much negativity and so much hostility. I've had messages saying that I've groomed Lily into thinking she's normal. Really, people are really horrendous. And I'm like...
Jesus Christ.
This is...
That would be the worst thing that you could be, Lily. Normal.
Imagine thinking that you're normal. What a terrible thing to do to somebody, to give them some confidence to be who they are.
I know.
And for me, that has kind of a added emotional element to it, because I lost my brother to suicide. He was on the autistic spectrum. He had other mental health conditions as well. And I spent my whole life trying to look after him from childhood, in the playground, intervening when there were bullies. I would go and put myself in the middle and I would look after him. Every time he had a mental health crisis, I would stop what I was doing and I would drive to go to him. And I've seen what happens. Sorry.
Oh, don't.
I've seen what happens when people live their life feeling odd and different. And I just saw these kind of attitudes in the house that were turning a bit on Lily. And I just thought, not on my watch.
Did it?
Yeah.
Do you think it triggered you?
Yeah. Because this is, sorry, I'm getting emotional.
It's okay.
But
I think I'm going to cry.
It's okay.
Getting a bit emotional. But, I spent my whole life, 35 years before I lost my brother, trying to impart in him some message that he was like, okay.
Yeah.
And that he was all right. He couldn't hold on to that message. And it's really painful to see the negative reaction towards Lily and the hostility towards Lily when she's a bit messy and a bit impulsive and ate a bit of chocolate when she shouldn't have done. Really harmless things. We're living in a world where people are doing bad things all the time. Lily's not one of those people.
Real proper bad things.
Yeah, really bad things.
Like a bit of clothes on the floor is like the least of people's worries. Do you know what I
Why
mean?
do you think that, from your professional perspective, why do you think people get it in their heads about being messy or wanting Lily to be something that she's not? What is that?
It was really strange because it was an attitude held in the house, and then that got picked up as a storyline, so then viewers picked it up as well. And I've said from the beginning there were other messy people in the house. When Lily left, the house wasn't tidy. It was disgusting, right?
Yeah.
Like, Lily was not responsible for
One
that.
person cannot make that whole house a tip, and the whole house was a tip.
It was
There's flies
awful.
and everything. One person cannot cause like flies. It was like a fly infestation.
Moving away from conversation about housemates specifically, and thinking more about, the public and their reaction to us. Something about people that they, if you don't understand someone, you're going to other them. And you're going to say, oh, this person's this. And it's like an exercise then to get whatever they're dealing with, whatever's difficult in their life, whatever anger they're holding, it's always going to go on to the person that they perceive to be different.
Yeah.
It makes me really emotional.
Yeah.
And it makes me quite angry, actually.
Yeah, because we have these norms, right? These societal norms that we pick up from the media or from other people, etc. And then they become adopted as our own personal beliefs of this is how you should behave. And this is what makes a good person. And a good person isn't messy, and a good person isn't loud, and a good
Yeah.
And so then when somebody displays those things, it's that kind of, well, that's not okay. That's not normal. That's not right.
Yeah. And I've been reflecting on this thing as well. I don't know if it's your experience too, but I feel like neurodivergent people just want to live in what's real. And so maybe we're a bit more tolerant of a bit of chaos, because it's real and it's genuine. Maybe neurotypical people, they do so much in their lives to create a social world that's balanced, normal, status quo, everything's regimented. And that includes things like small talk or pretending you like people to keep the stability in whatever social world they're in. And I just don't think neurodivergent people do that. And then we become these disruptors of social situations. But actually, we get on really well together. If you end up with neurodivergent people altogether, there isn't small talk. And I actually think it's a bit of a myth that people with autism can't do small talk or don't like small talk. I think we can if it's real and genuine. But, I give the example
I love a small talk.
Yeah, we don't mind having a bit of a gas about something a bit trivial, as long as it's genuine. But what's difficult, I think, is when you're asking someone how they are and they start talking about the weather and they've dealt with something really difficult the day before, and then there's no authenticity in the interaction. That's the small talk that's hard.
Are you both really glad that you went into the Big Brother house?
I'm glad I met Ali.
Yeah, I
That's
thought
it,
you might
really.
say that.
And like Days and some of the housemates, because I would never come across them. That's why I think it was like when I went in there, because it was a completely different, it's a different environment for everyone, but I keep my circle very small. I don't speak to a lot of people.
I feel a bit similarly. I think I spoke about it in the last time I was here, something about just having new experiences and having a bit of fun, and like I'd lived this
Saying yes.
Yeah, saying yes. And I'd lived this really normal life with a very serious job that was very restrictive. And I just thought after Mike died, I was trying to do new things to create fun and bring joy back to my life, because it had gone completely. And I remember I find Christmas really hard. I've had 2 Christmases without my brother now. And I remember lying there on the sofa between Christmas and New Year, which is a difficult time anyway. And I just thought, wow, like I'm out. Like I can't live life like this. It's unbearably painful and I'm just existing. You know, when he first died, I kind of felt like I just want, I want to go with him actually. Like, what's the point in being here? But knowing that that was not an option for me because I have to be here for my family, my sister, my niece, my nephew, for my friends. It was just not an option for me. But I felt like just living, going to work and living a normal life, I'm not going to bring joy back. It's not going to come back magically. So I went to Nepal and hiked to Everest Base Camp. And then I came back and I was like, okay, what now? And I just, what now? I applied to Big Brother on a total whim and got on.
Yeah.
And, coming out the other side, though, everything has been much more fun. I've met Lily, consider Lily family. We've got Dean,
100%.
we've got Martha, we've got Dave, some really good friendships that I didn't have before. So it's absolutely something I would never say that I regret doing.
Yep.
And all the events that I've been to since then. I mean, when I saw you last time, I was a bit burnt out and dissociated, I think. But I laid low over Christmas. And then this year, there's been loads of fun things happening.
Yeah, so you guys have been out of the house about 6 months.
Yeah. So I would say now, absolutely worth it.
Okay.
One of the best things I've ever done. Because
Okay.
I've achieved what I wanted to. It just happened when I came out of the house.
Yes.
Maybe not in the house.
Yes. And Lily, how have the last 6 months been for you?
It's been fun. I think, obviously, I've left my job now, so just do social media, so like self-employed. And that's quite difficult not having a routine and being like your own boss.
Yeah,
It's
how's
really
that
hard.
with ADHD?
Oh, really hard, because me left to a routine on my own, it's so hard, and I just procrastinate everything. And then I get everything piled up, and then I'm like, where do I even start?
And what feedback have you had since leaving the house?
Off the public. Good. I think I got quite a lot of hate when I was in the house. I did have a little look. No, you shouldn't, but obviously I'm going to look. But since coming out of the house, really good. Like, really nice. People be like, oh, like, so relatable. I'm like, yeah. So, yeah, it's been good. It's
And
nice.
then what prompted you to then actually, I guess, go public about your ADHD?
Speaking to Ali.
Yeah.
Ali definitely inspired me, and then other people texting me like, oh, I don't know if I have ADHD or not, but I struggle with this and I feel I seem very seen by you. Then people coming up to me being like, my kid has ADHD and like struggles with this and that, and I'm like, no way, this is sick. And like it's nothing to be ashamed of, because I did used to get ashamed of it, but
Yeah.
like now actually like it's good, and I'm glad I went on Big Brother, and it's made me be more open.
Yeah, I saw a video of you putting your makeup on and talking about it.
Yeah.
And I thought you said something really lovely, which was, this might help someone. This
Yeah,
might help
I know,
one
because
person.
if I seen that from like a younger age, because it weren't talked about when I was younger. So when I was getting tested and I was in cams and I was recorded and they were asking me these questions, I was like, what you on about? Like, I didn't have a clue like about any of it and awareness of it. And when I was younger, I just used to think, why can people listen to the teacher, take all that information in? I can't read a book. That's one thing I can't do. When I
Okay.
read a book, I'll read the first few words and then I'll read the words, but I'm not reading it. I just go into a daydream, and then I'm at the end of the page, I'm like, what have I read? So like that's why I struggle so much. Well, I definitely didn't focus in school, but I did use like maths, numbers.
Yep.
One of the things I love about spending time with Lily is you can be in her company. Say we're just at my house, just chilling out or whatever. I can put my brain on holiday mode completely. So accepting, because she's the same. Like, we're the same but different, you know? So I'm like constantly in my brain telling myself to do this, do this, do this. And, if I had people in my house, I'd be trying to be a good host and entertain and stuff like that. But with Lily, she's never going to be offended if she catches my eyes being like, or like if I get distracted and scroll on my phone for a minute.
I just get distracted and scroll on my phone as well.
And I can just completely relax.
Yeah.
And there's no need to put on any like social niceties or any like front or image. And I think especially in my career, because it's a serious job and you have to be on point all the time. I've always felt this pressure to perform, be really good at what I'm doing and be really on the ball. But when I'm with Lily, I can just
chill out.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter if I forget things or if I'm a bit late. She doesn't care. She's late too. It's brilliant.
Very late and all the time. I was late on Ali's birthday. Oh, I'm sorry, Ali.
Lily, what are the good bits for you about ADHD?
I love how much energy I get, the bursts of energy. Like, I'll be like, yeah, like, with my friends, like, I love having loads of energy. I love letting it all out. Because that sort of thing, when I took, like, Elvance and that, when I started to take it, I just felt more, like, chilled out. But I like to have my bursts of energy, then chill out, but I just felt chilled.
Yeah, okay.
And I don't like that. I have like big bursts of energy, and then I'll just chill out for a bit on my own.
And then what are the challenging bits?
Oh, so much. Procrastination, whether that be like cleaning a room, or like procrastination going to sleep. I get that a lot.
I do that as well.
Do you?
Yeah.
Cleaning. I want to clean, but I don't know where to start.
Okay.
So that's why, like, I'm really grateful to have my mum, because my mum she'll get a paper and be like, right, how can we break this down, Lily? What's the first step we do? Then you do the first step and you're like, yes, right, I'm on a roll. Next step. I struggle with so much concentrating, having a conversation with someone. Like, I feel sometimes like people just end up speaking at me, like I feel sorry for some people because it just doesn't go in and like, are you listening? I'm like, yeah, when I'm not. But that's why I'm really grateful for my friends though, because they understand. Like, I have a very small group and they're really like understanding.
What do you think people your age in the UK think about ADHD?
I think some people think it's just like hyperactive. Like, for instance, like when I was younger, like people be like, you're riddled with ADHD. Like, I think they just think it's like, just being like off your head, but there's much more to it.
Well, I think in terms of stigma, I think some people just think it's made up.
Sure.
And it's just nothing.
Yeah.
But
to be fair, sometimes I thought it was made up. I was just like, listen, I'm me. Stop giving me a label. But I think seeing more awareness on it, like, it's good though, because then like people be more aware.
Yeah.
Understanding the differences.
Yeah, and it's not an adjective, ADHD.
Yeah.
I think this is the trivialization of it, of kind of going, everyone's a bit ADHD.
Yeah, I hate that. Like, it's a kooky character trait.
Yes.
Everyone, I forgot my keys, so I've got ADHD.
Yes.
Yeah, some people, yeah.
And I'm like, I do like parts of being neurodivergent. I think that it makes me me and it makes me different and unique. But I think the part that I hide from the world, because I've had to for years and years and years, is actually there's a downside where you're sometimes completely non-functioning. And I don't know how to verbalize what those days look like. People have asked me, oh, now you've got a platform, can you share a bit about your ADHD, how it is day to day? Well, on a bad day, like, I'm not getting a tripod out. And I really want to share that side with people that follow me and look to me for support and representation, but I can't.
Yeah.
Because I could film stuff on a good day, but then I'd be sort of cosplaying the bad days because I can't do it on my bad days.
Yeah.
Like, there are days where I have no control over my own brain and I can't organize my thoughts to get through the day and be a functioning person, you know. And I think that's why when I came out of Big Brother, I was so burnt out, because every day you have to be up and doing things and around people. So there's no downtime to unmask and recoup. So I was quite unwell kind of over Christmas, and after I came out November into Christmas, I just crashed and then did what I needed to do, but then spent a lot of time in bed.
So last time we met, you were saying, well, I've not been assessed for autism, but I kind of feel like I could be. I don't know. Where are you at on that journey? Yeah,
good question, because I went into Big Brother being like, oh yeah, I've got ADHD and maybe a few autistic traits. I've had so many messages being like, Ali, you're on the spectrum. And people sending me in like screen recordings of me stimming and things I didn't know that I even did, and saying that they recognize things in me that they have themselves, basically diagnosing me. So I think maybe what I might do now actually is go for the assessment, because before I was like, there's no point. You know, I have medication for ADHD. I kind of know how to work with other parts of my identity and who I am. And I manage, I'm functional, I have a job, I do what I need to do. But I think maybe for clarity, I will go and get an assessment and just see, even if it's just autistic traits, where I fall. And then maybe that would help me to understand my bad days a bit more, the days where I'm crashing out and
Yes.
not knowing what's going on.
Last time you were here, you were also saying, Ali, that you didn't know what it was, but you knew you needed to do something.
Yeah.
You knew you wanted to help. You wanted to be part of something. You wanted to, but you didn't know what it was.
I'm still trying to figure out what my future will look like. So obviously I've done this TV show that changes the shape of what my pre-existing job looks like. I can't continue in that career while I've got sort of open social media and things like that. It's not straightforward. It's a bit complicated. And when I came out and I had a platform of, a small number of followers who were aligning themselves with me based on either queerness or neurodivergence, I thought, okay, maybe that was why I went in Big Brother. I'm here to show that we're all right.
Yep.
We're okay. And we exist. And life's difficult sometimes, but we still keep going. Coming here today, I think Lily sharing her message about stigma and overcoming that feeling of being stigmatized, that's, for now, what I would like to use my platform for.
Yeah.
In my old job, I didn't struggle so much in the way that I have done a little bit since I've come out of the house, because I've been doing it for years. It was like muscle memory. So I communicate on parole boards or in ward rounds. It's all clinical language. I know it didn't have that many difficulties in like understanding and communication, because that was my life. I'd done it for 20 years. It was so easy. Bash out a 40-page report, no problem. Everything in that world felt very easy. It made sense. I could organise people, thoughts, my understanding of people, how to share that with, different audiences. So easy. Now, I have a manager who's helping me with whatever this new world looks like, and we're not sure yet. I can't understand her WhatsApps. I haven't actually told her this yet. I said to my sister, I thought I had ADHD. I wasn't sure about autism, but now I'm having communications with people about a world that is not familiar to me. And I sometimes feel completely lost. Carmela, my manager, I adore her. This will be the first time that she knows I don't understand half of her WhatsApps, but she must do, because I'm constantly messaging her being like, I don't get it. She'll literally send me the most simple instruction, have to read it 3 or 4 times, or send it to my sister and be like, I don't get it. Like, what's wrong with me? And I thought I was really capable because I was successful in my old job, and I did really well. And, if you communicate in a sort of court type setting, it's very regimented, and it's a very easy way to communicate, because there's just one way of communicating.
It's a process.
Yeah.
There's a language, a process, steps,
and
outcome.
I'd learnt that language. And now I'm in this world where I'm like, I don't know what's going on. And my poor manager, she's so patient.
You've grown up, Lily, with social media, the internet. God, I sound like an old dinosaur. But how do you find that world?
It's just normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, just normal. But like, this is the thing what I struggle with. It's the doom scroll. Like, I get glued, like literally glued. Like, I'm not even watching half the stuff like on TikTok. I'm not even watching it. I'm just like scrolling. I'm just in my own head. Well, so bad.
When I first went on Elvance, Lily's advice
my brain's
to me
probably
was
like fried.
She was like, whatever you do, don't pick up your phone when you've just taken your Elvance, because she was like, if you get your focus on your phone at the point the medication kicks in, you're going to be stuck on your phone. I was like, that's actually really good advice.
Hyper focus like this.
You see a lot, especially of ADHD, on TikTok, on Instagram. What do you think about all that content that goes out?
I think I see more awareness on it. Like, I never used to see that before. I don't know if my algorithm's changed or something, but I definitely see it more. But like, when I was in high school on my phone, like, I'd never seen anything, like any awareness on it. But now I definitely see stuff like, some of the stuff you could struggle with ADHD, and you see it and you're like, phew, I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Basically, I grew up thinking it's naughty little boys, they're ADHD.
You would never like see it with girls in the school. It was just never talked about in the school, like, at all. Like, I didn't even know what it was. I think 2 boys had it, and they were like classed as naughty.
Yeah.
Would you go back to your school and give a talk?
Yeah, on that teacher who said we're not going to support Lily. They told me, Cam said, this is the teacher, it's Miss da-da-da, and I had to see her every single day in school. I was like, I hate you. Sorry, I don't know if you can post that.
Get them told, Lily.
She's weird. thought, how rude to say that. We're not going to support.
Yeah.
We're not going to support her.
Yeah.
What a school that is.
Yeah. But then you stayed at that school.
Unfortunately, yeah.
What would you say, Lily, to people who are neurodivergent and thinking about reality TV?
Oh, I don't know. Definitely some coping mechanisms. So like my mum said.
Listen to Linda.
See, thank God I have my mum because she like really calms me down. But that's the thing, like definitely some coping mechanisms. It was the whole of it. It was the bright light. Remember, I was in a social experiment. We were in a studio, but I didn't even think about this. It was the bright lights. It was feeling claustrophobic. Like even if you go in the garden, you're still gated. On the second day when I woke up, I felt dead anxious. And then at the start when there was 16 people in the house, well, all I could hear is da 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 da. But then I couldn't focus. Like, say, like if I go to like, if I'm speaking to someone and there's loud music, say like in the car, I'm like turn the music down, I can't concentrate. And like in the house, when all you could hear is little chatting in the background.
Yeah.
And on the second day, I was like, oh my God, like I can't focus on a conversation with people. And I got really anxious.
And so what would you say to someone?
Some coping mechanisms, some breathing exercises as well. Like I had to do loads of breathing exercises. Sometimes I would get way too excited.
Okay, because you were too excited.
Yeah, the dance battle.
Yeah. I think it's to be prepared for would be the physical environment being difficult.
Yeah. But the thing is, it's hard though, because we was in a social experiment.
Yeah. And it's being around people in close proximity that fundamentally do not understand you.
Yeah, 100%.
And
because I
maybe
didn't
don't want
think I
to.
would get like any stick from like people.
That's interesting.
Like in the house, like it just
In the
seemed
house or publicly?
No, in both. Like in the house, everyone was so frustrated with me. And then outside the house, all the comments were like, she is neurodivergent. She definitely has ADHD. All the comments on the videos, the top comment was like, she's neurodivergent.
Yeah, I mean, the public reaction is really, it can be really difficult. And I think we're in a good place at the moment in terms of what we're receiving from people, I think. But we've definitely had waves of like really intense hatred, videos mocking us, you know, and things like that. And that's been a bit difficult to manage, really. And not all done with bad intention, actually.
How do you manage that?
Oh, the thing is for me, I can just shut something off straight away.
Okay.
Yeah, just block, unfollow, anything that's unpleasant, really.
Yeah, if I see like that's luckily what's not affected me. Like I just completely shut it down. I try just block everything.
I get more upset about seeing comments about Lily than I do about myself, because I'm like, you know what? I don't care. What are you going to do? What are you going to say? Like there were things that I said and did in the house that were like massively misjudged, misunderstood. And I've thought about, should I respond to some of the sort of accusations that I've had? And I thought, no, the vast majority of people saw what I saw, understood how I was reacting, and could make sense of that. And you're always going to find people that dislike you or want to see the bad in you. So there's no point in over explaining yourself to those people, because whatever you say, even if you give concrete examples of how they're wrong, or you have receipts on why you're reacting, not acting, they're going to see you how they want to see you. So for me, I'm like, you know what? I've been through enough in my life that, you know, Linda from Facebook having a problem with me isn't going to keep me awake at night.
All the Facebook mums are so rude and weird.
Well, when I see comments towards Lily, that's when I get more upset, because I'm like, oh, I mean, obviously I got emotional a bit earlier, and that's that feeling of like, God, just like, she's a good person. Just be nice.
I have a good heart.
You do.
I do have a good heart.
You do. And I'm like,
the most important thing is that you know, you believe that. And that's so
I am
everything else doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
It would be worrying if you didn't think that about yourself.
Oh no, I know I'm a good person.
You know?
100%.
Then that would be more concerning.
Not sound big-headed.
No, that's not big-headed.
And the other, not at all. And the other slight down for me with the negative feedback is we've got good support around us. We've got scaffolding to be able to manage it. And, you know, we know that we're loved and we have nice people around us. What upsets me more than people targeting me with comments is that people who are like me are also reading the comments, right? So if they take a pop at one of us for something that's quite clearly part of our neurodivergence, and then half my following are neurodivergent, I'm like, you're hurting them
I know
too.
some people like argue back with some of the hate comments.
Yeah, do
I'm
you get
like,
some
yeah.
policing going
Yeah,
on?
so I'm like, oh, let's not argue. Right, I'll just best block the comment. I was like, I don't want an argument.
I've had messages from people who have seen comments towards me or comments towards Lily saying, I haven't slept because I'm so worried about you guys.
Oh.
Or I haven't slept because it's bringing up stuff for me in terms of I was bullied at school or I was bullied at work, and now I'm seeing these comments, and it's quite triggering and so even though it's not directed at them, it might be directed at me or it might be directed at Lily. It's affecting them. And I had one woman who, she's on the autistic spectrum, but she has a lot of physical health conditions as well. And if she loses sleep, she has seizures sometimes. And she messaged me saying that she felt really unwell because she deep dived some of the negative comments that we get, and she hadn't slept and she was worried about, her health. And that really hit home for me, that when you're attacking someone on the internet,
Sure.
you're attacking people that look and sound like them as well. And you can't control the potential negative reaction to it. So it's not just a joke. It's not always lighthearted. It does have a bigger impact, I think, than sometimes people realise.
And they don't know you, right? They don't know you. So it's not actually about you.
Yeah.
It is about what you represent.
Yeah.
And that is therefore bigger than just you.
Yeah.
I just think some people's comments are just uneducated. Like, I feel like you get me because you know about ADHD and the traits that have it, so you're more aware of some of my behaviours. But like, I met someone on the train, they're like, oh, you're Lily off Big Brother. I was like, yeah, you all right? And she was like, yeah, you was so loud and a bit annoying, blah, blah, blah. Kind of a picture. I was like, yeah, I don't care. But I just think like some people like that, you just don't know. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I had someone come up to me and they were like, oh, you're actually really nice. And I was like, okay. And she's like, he came across like a stern school teacher on Big Brother. And I was like, you saw a few minutes of a 24-hour day.
Yeah.
But it's just really funny. It's really interesting. I was like, oh, never been called that before, but okay.
Lily, what would you say to people listening, watching, your best piece of advice for supporting somebody who's ADHD?
I'd say listen to them, be there for them, research about it a bit, because like some of my friends know what I'm like when I'm being really loud and that. They're like, oh, Lily's getting all excited and they love it. But yeah, like a lot of them have known me since I was younger in high school, and that was like peak. That was like going into Big Brother house. I was like that in high school 24/7. Surprised the teachers didn't pick up on it. But I think just being understanding, listening to them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
I think that's good advice. Ali, what would you say?
Supporting someone with ADHD. I really like the idea of doing a bit of reading and educating. I think maybe we all should. And there's so many different versions of normal. I would encourage people, before you go to speak with judgment, just to have a little bit of a think about what else might be going on for that person. I think education's important. I'm meeting a lot of neurodivergent people now, which is fab. But if I have a social interaction that feels a bit clunky or awkward, in my head, my first reaction might be like, oh, that's a bit rude, actually. But in my head, I'm like, oh, but I think they may be autistic. I think they may have already spoken about that on another platform or in another situation. So I'm like, just allow it. And then as soon as you take that relaxed approach to meeting people, you're not offended and you can just get on with people, and it's a lot nicer.
It's stopping those immediate reactions that people have to you, for example, Lily, where they feel like they need to say that you're ADHD.
I know. Like, I got it when I was younger, like, especially with people, like, it was more people my age. But, like, with older people as well. Educate yourself. Jokes, sorry.
We should have got your mum on. She's probably got loads of advice.
My mum is like,
about how to support someone with ADHD.
Literally. My mum did so much research on it. And she was like, Lily, this is why you leave all the cupboards open in the kitchen. It's a trait of ADHD. It's not you. This is how we can help. She'd be like, oh, Lily, clean your room. And I'd be like, yeah. But it just get more and more messier. And then once it's clean, I blink and then it's messy again. And she's like, right, this is how we can help with this. Looked up this and this. But I am lucky though, because my mum's a therapist. But yeah, she's sick.
Yeah, that's. But again, like just having good support around you.
Yeah, like my mum read books on it and everything for me. Really good. Yeah, she was like, I think I've had some traits in it, because she said that she's seen some traits of it when she was younger and in Gemma.
The call's always coming from inside the house, isn't it?
Yeah.
The apple does not fall far from the tree. I've got one last question for you, Lily.
Go on.
Who are you going to give this second green badge to?
Ali.
You can't give it to Ali. Ali's already got one. I feel like that's a cop-out.
It's actually not. Oh, my mum.
There we go.
Yes.
I was hoping Linda would.
For
She
her,
sounds really important for you in...
Oh, yeah.
her unending patience.
She's a clever woman.
Yeah, but to have that curiosity to read
Yeah,
books,
and to-
suggest things.
Yeah, suggests me to get tested. Be like, oh, it's not bad. Maybe we should just try it. Like, yeah, if I didn't have don't know what I'd do. Yeah, I am very grateful, and I'm glad she's read up on it. And because that's it, everyone was like, I wonder what a mum thinks. Her mum's not raised her properly, and
Yeah,
this and that.
especially with that.
Yeah, all the comments was like, parents have like clearly not parented her properly, and I was like, well, no. And it
What did
really
your mum
upset-
say? What?
It really upset my mum, because my mum was like, I'm a good parent, and she is a good parent. Like, I could not ask for better off my mum and my dad. Like, they're both like the most supportive. Like, they have the kindest hearts ever. So when my mum heard that, like, it really upset her.
Yeah, I can imagine.
No, yeah. Especially everything that she does for me, George, Gemma, Anthony. Like, wow. Like, yeah, it's a lot.
Thanks, Linda.
Thank you, Linda.
Yeah, so Linda, no offense to Ali, but Linda gets the green badge.
Linda deserves. I've got one, but in true ADHD style, I've
And-
lost it.
Green's a favourite colour, so it's meant to be.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll give second badge will be for Linda.
Yeah.
Thank you both for coming on. You guys are sort of navigating a whole world that I know very little about in terms of reality TV, that the public perspective on that, social media, that whole thing. And I guess I'm just sat here going, it's really good that you guys are being open, that you are being great role models, and that you're able to, kind of stand up and speak up about it all, because I think that's what's going to help people.
I hope so.
I know. Because I was worried to speak about it as well, because to be honest, I'm not that educated. I don't read up on it. I just deal with it. But I'm learning more about it as I go along and helping other people. So, yeah.
Yeah, but your honesty and admission of that is really refreshing, because you know you better than anybody else.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
And so you don't need to be an expert in
No.
ADHD, just be an expert in you.
Yeah.
Thank you both.
Thank you.
Woo! We did it.